Coach, when did the Legends officially happen?
It was within the last probably 2 weeks. The board approved it,
I was gonna say.
and then it technically doesn't become in effect until next year.
Okay.
So we're still the Warriors, but
Okay. Because I thought you were still the Warriors, and then the team was like the Legends, and I'm like, okay, what am I supposed to say?
they're starting to get used to the word now, so that
Okay.
they can ramp it in their heads.
So we can call you the Warriors or the Legends right now?
I'm okay with either.
You're okay with it? Warriors. Because I said that's what I mean. That's all I know. It's kind of like Washington. Like, are they the Redskins, the football team, or the Commanders?
Right, exactly.
Because Joe Theismann was on my show, and he goes, I won a Super Bowl as a Redskin, so who am I? And I was like, Joe, you're a Redskin. Because that's who you won with. So, yeah. And, I mean, so is the Spartan going away?
No, so from what I'm being told, that Spartan hat is staying. That's still going to be our logo, but our name is getting changed to the Legends.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So, Warriors/Legends girls indoor track head coach.
Yes.
That's what I'm going to call you, Greg. Greg, how are you?
I'm 40 years old.
You're 40 years old.
Yes.
I just turned 39.
Oh, one more to join the club.
What is life like at 40?
Oh, everything starts to break. I mean,
I don't like that a lot.
I run, so for me, I was like, kind of going to the next, like turn 40 and I go to run and go,
yeah.
Wow, that really starts to hurt. Where did this come from? And everyone that I've talked to, they're like, get used to it. I'm like,
So,
all right.
the boys track coach here,
Yes.
Andy, who's right off camera, you said you're 60, right? Just turned 60. I'm not saying this because you're sitting here. I thought you were 40. Yeah. I genuinely did. He's like, I'm 60. And I was like, what fountain of youth do you drink out of daily? So, what's your advice for us, Andy, 39 and 40-year-old men? Do you have any advice for us? Keep moving. Are you married or no?
I am married, yes.
You are married?
Yes.
How long?
2 years, coming up on 3 in this upcoming July.
Okay. I'm a single man in this crazy society. What's your advice? Run.
No. Find someone that can deal with your crazy.
Find someone that can deal with your crazy. That's a good answer. Because we're all a little bit crazy.
We all have something crazy in our corner, and if they can handle your crazy and you can handle their crazy, then...
So what would your wife say is your crazy?
The amount of hours that I put in to coaching and the amount of time I have to dedicate myself to coaching. I mean, I coach 3 sports, so I'll do fall for 8 weeks, and then I get about a month off, and then from November till June, it's varsity sports, and it's go, 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 go.
It's craziness.
Yeah.
Absolute craziness.
And I bless her for allowing me to do this, so.
What is her first name?
Tina.
Tina? What do we want to say to Tina?
Oh,
This is going to be available for
I know it's going to be able to see, but
so
I gotta say I gotta appreciate her dealing with this crazy and supporting me in this.
What does Tina do?
She's a special ed teacher.
She's a special ed teacher.
Yeah.
So what is your favorite thing about Tina? I'm giving you a lot of brownie points because if you ever get the next fight you get in, you're like, hey Tina, and just pull up this YouTube video and hit play.
Yes.
It was all positive.
I mean, the positive mindset she always has going into work is how crazy it can get. She's always willing to go the extra mile for her kids, for her staff, for her. Yeah. I mean, she's one that puts herself in front, and she does deserve a lot of credit for what she does, but she's great at what she does.
Shout out to Tina. This team. I sat here today with so many different pieces of your team. When you put it all together, because I mean it's all these teams within a team.
Correct.
And I don't think that people fully appreciate track. When you look at that, I mean, yes, when the Olympics come around and we hear about it more, but the fact that there's all of these teams within a team. So I mean, you're essentially not the head coach of one thing. You're the head coach of like all of these things at once.
Yes.
How do you keep it all straight and keep it all together when you're dealing with each of these elements like tonight when we had representation from 4 different pieces?
I think a lot of it is how you approach everything.
Yeah.
And as long as you kind of have the mindset like going in like, okay, yeah, I got to transition my brain if I'm helping another area, which for me is mind-blowing. I'm in myself because there's so much that goes into it. But I think getting the relationships with the students kind of helps, because then you know that they're going to listen and they're going to not really, I wouldn't say follow in a bad way, but like kind of take it, your advice, and apply it.
Yeah.
So I think that's what it comes down to. And I do a lot of video watching in my off time, so there's a lot to learn, lot of new strategies and everything. So every once in a while, and a lot also comes down to just watching your other coaches coach, and you learn from them, and you kind of ask questions, and you just try to twist it into your own words so your kids understand it.
When you're overseeing it all, do you have to change the way that you, I mean, obviously they're doing different things, but when you're talking to the throwing team and you're talking to the distance team, like, they say that a great coach knows that people learn things differently. Like, if you're a football coach and you have 100 players on your team, you can't teach them all the same way, but you have all these different teams within your team. So how do you address the fact that individuals learn differently, and that on top of individuals learning differently, you have different skill set teams within your greater team?
When it comes to that, I know, like, if I go to the throwers, I can kind of be jokingly serious.
Okay.
I can use certain terminology that kind of makes them laugh and be like, wow, you're kind of right. Like, I don't need to be so stressed about this. When I go to the distance kids, I can be like, hey, listen, this is what we need to do, and this is what you got to do.
Yeah.
It's time to apply it and go. My sprinters, that's my specialty area is the sprinting crowd. So for them, usually I'm more harder on them. And with certain individuals, I know I can yell. I can get down on that track, I can yell, I can scream, and they hear me, and then when they to the finish. Yeah. Whereas a distance kid, they could be out there running, and I'm yelling, they're like, Coach, I don't hear you. And I'm like, oh, okay. So I know I'm not going to scream what I need to scream at you, because you're going to be like so focused into your run that you don't hear me. Yeah. When it comes to high jump or pole vault or even long and triple jump areas, the kids kind of tell me, like, Coach, this what helps me. Like, I like it when you yell at me, or I like it when you're kind of hard on me, saying, hey, get your tail in gear and get going. Some kids are like, I don't like that. And I'm like, okay, I take that in consideration. I go, okay, I know I can't approach you the way I can approach this person.
Yeah. So they say that a good athlete is coachable, but not every coach is coachable, so to speak. Right. How do you remain open to learning as well?
I think a lot just comes, like I said earlier, that comes down to watching other coaches coach and what drills you see their athletes doing, and I'm like, wow, you know what? That's a good drill. I should probably bank that in my brain and practice, utilize it. Again, I'm also a believer in that, like, if I say something and they don't do it, am I going to say they're not coachable? No, I'm just saying you're going to be harder to work with, because you're not. I can lead you to the watering hole, but I can't make you drink the water. I can't force it. So I think when it comes to that stuff, it's just more of trying it. If it works, awesome. If it doesn't, you find a different pathway and come at it at a different angle.
I agree. Before we get into rapid fire, why did you want to be a coach at track?
So, in high school, I went to West Jenny. My coach in high school was kind of like my big motivator. She was, and I wanted to go to school for phys ed. Yeah. So she kind of was like, "Hey, this is what I had to do. This is what I entailed. This and all that." So, like, from there, I was kind of like, "Wow, like, I really enjoy track and field. I grew up doing it. I love it. I want to be that person and kind of give back." Now, being at West Jenny, I never would have saw myself at Liverpool. To me, I'm like, that was our arch enemy. We were like, no, I don't want to be Liverpool. No way. Here I am coaching Liverpool.
Now, on the boys' side for track, Andy's right off camera. Tell me something good about him, because he's going to be here with his team next
Oh
month.
my God, one of the most positive coaches I've ever met. He is always, and the kids love him. I mean, he can get fired up, and when he gets fired up, it's fun to watch. And I'm like, oh yeah, Andy, let's go. and then there's times when I'm like, Andy, I need you to kind of talk some sense into me. And he's like, okay, well let's work it out. So he's an all-around guy that really like can help keep me centered, because I can kind of get like sidetracked or get worked up over small things.
Yeah.
And he kind of can be like, hey, let's talk it out.
Yeah.
If I'm like, hey Andy, what do you think? We were just talking earlier about a meet. Like, what do you think? And we were like, okay, well, let's start analyzing this. So I mean, he's one of those coaches you can always go to, and he's well knowledged.
So, Liverpool Warrior, Liverpool legend, what does it mean? You said you never thought growing up that you would be at Liverpool, but you are now.
Right. I think it's just the mindset you put into it. Whether it's a warrior or legend, like some people can take it literal and be like, you know what, I want to be a legend. I want to have that nickname legend, being I'm that person that they'll remember.
Yeah.
Then there's the whole idea of being a warrior. Like, okay, you're a fighter, you're tough. And that's what I try to tell my kids. It's like, it's going to be something odd about me. I have a tattoo on me that says Joga Bonito, means play beautiful. And there's 5, God, now I got to remember them. There's 5 kind of terms that go with it. It's joy, heart, skill, team, and honor. I go, if you can have those 5 components, you'll be successful. And you can utilize anywhere, in school, in life, at sports. If you take one of those away,
Yeah.
there's one thing that always inserts itself, and it's negativity. And that can deteriorate a team. So, like, I try to instill that as being a warrior, as being a legend, so that way at least they're getting something out of it and being a better person moving on in life.
And I don't think you can be a legend without being a warrior.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So let's play some rapid fire.
Here
What's
we
your
go.
question for me? We get a couple because it's just us. So
My question to you?
Yes.
What is your epic go-to holiday Christmas movie?
Oh boy. I'm going to tell you that Red One that is in the theaters right now has become one of my favorites.
I did just watch that last night, so I know what you're talking
So
about.
good.
Yeah, it was.
It was genuinely good. There was no like political stuff. There was no like agenda. It was just a movie.
Yeah.
And
And it's got great characters.
Right.
Great.
And it was a movie about Santa and the Rock, and the Rock, and the Rock as always. Yeah, I thought it was a good movie. My go-to Christmas movie. I'm gonna tell you, I like Elf. I like the Santa Claus 1, 2, and 3. There's a lot of ones that I like, but by far, every year, all the time, I can watch it every day. Home Alone and Home Alone 2.
I agree. I mean, those are 2.
And I can do a Joe Pesci. I do impressions. I can actually do a Pesci. So it's if you listen to my show in the morning between 9 and 11, my Brooklyn Pickle commercial sounds eerily
Like that guy that, was talking about this and doing that other thing, and, like, nothing would please me more than to shoot you.
yeah, that whole part. So very much I love Home Alone. So Home Alone, I have to say. What's
right.
your go-to Christmas movie?
I would have to. I'm big on Will Ferrell. I do love Elf, and actually this other one that I have got. It's come out a couple years ago. It's Spirited.
That's the one with Will Ferrell and Ryan Reynolds, right?
Yes.
Okay.
I mean,
didn't see it yet.
It's to me, it's no different than watching your typical Christmas story,
Okay.
but it's for me. Those two just bounce off each other, and I love the music. It kind of that type of music. Just I can start like get myself going.
Okay.
If I'm going for a run, I'm like, I'm gonna put some Spirited music on. Here we go.
All right, I like it. Your next question for me is what?
Oh, if you could go either to the moon or to the deepest part of the trenches of the water.
Not the water.
Is this a fear?
No, here's the thing. I believe that I was born in Atlantis because I breathe better underwater than, like, I can hold my breath underwater far better than I can do it above water. I can stay underwater for a really long time. I can swim underwater for a really long time. I've always loved the pool. And so I love water, but I just watched a thing about the deeper you go in the ocean, the more friggin' alien-looking psychotic fish are down there.
Yep.
So there's, as much as I want to like know that there's a real kraken, I don't want to see. There's just something about me getting to the bottom of the ocean and like turning on my little flashlight on my head and like turning and just seeing a kraken just breathing, looking right at me, and you can't move fast in the water.
Yeah, you're done.
So I'm gonna say the moon.
Okay.
Because I've always been interested in going to space. I've always said if I knew I could get back safely, I would go. So Elon Musk, we were both at a game, Army-Navy game a couple days ago. If you'd like to go to space with me, Elon, I'll go with you.
As long as it comes back.
If I'm on the ship with him, we're coming back.
Yeah.
My question back to you, that was a good question. If you could travel to the past or to the future, where would you go? Or what would you pick and why?
I probably would want to, I don't know, I'd always look at it two different ways. I mean, but I think I would actually go back to the past just because I enjoyed growing up and playing the amount of sports I did and doing all the, and kids always ask me like, Coach, did you enjoy high school?
Yeah.
I'm like, I enjoyed the athletic part of it.
Yeah.
The schooling part was more of like, oh, this sucks. And I now stay in school, that's all I gotta say. But it's one of those things where I'm like, the sport aspect of it, going back and being able to do all the sports and doing all the different things I did, as I would totally go back and do that again.
Okay. I like that. You got one more for me. What do you got?
All right. Would you travel to Abu Dhabi, which is where the Khalifa is, the tallest building in the world, or the land down under?
The land down under. Gotta be
down to Australia, okay?
Gotta be Australia.
When?
Because, and the reason why, well, there's two reasons. The women are beautiful, and the other reason is I am one of those people that, like I said, I don't really have any fears. I said years and years and years ago, I would parachute into a rainforest in Australia and stay there for 3 days.
Oh.
And my buddy Mark Walczyk, I think, would do that with me because we're nature guys. And we, like, our childhood was spent at camp just doing a lot of, like, stuff out in the wilds. And he called me, he made the mistake one year of calling me a city boy. He don't call me a city boy anymore. So, but yeah, I'm going to say the land down under.
Okay.
My question back to you, if you could put two animals together and create your own animal, what animal mutation would you create and why?
I think I'd have to go with the cheetah's body.
Okay.
But give me the head of a giraffe.
The cheetah's body, but the head of a giraffe. Okay.
Like the neck and the head of the giraffe.
Why?
I find giraffes fascinating when they want to fight. When they find they're just swatting and to me it's like a comic relief a little bit. I'm like, wow, they're just beating each other with each other's heads.
So you want to see, by the way, if you've ever pet a giraffe, their entire head is bones.
Yes.
Their head, because I fed one, if that thing hits you, you are out.
Yeah. Or that animal's really concussed.
Yes. So you want them to have the speed and power.
Correct.
I like that.
I mean, to me, it just sounds like a natural thing to see. And
so a cheetah.
Yeah.
We're going to make a cheetah.
A cheetah.
I like that. We're going to bring cheetahs into existence. The Liverpool cheetahs. What about that?
That's what I would go with.
That's what we should be.
Just go with an animal. You can never.
The giraffe cheetah. I like it. Greg Hamilton, head coach of the girls indoor track team. Thank you for giving us your sprinters, your distance runners, your throwers, and your vertical jumpers today. It's been a pleasure from Avicolli.
They're all willing to do this stuff. They love it, and For them, it's like, oh, okay. They're hesitant at first. I go, be prepared. You're gonna have questions. They're always like, what? And I'm like, you'll be fine. Just.
Yeah, they did a good job though.
They did. They did very well.
They handled themselves well. So from Avicolli's, we wish you a very Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and we will see you in January with the man behind the camera, in front of the camera, and his team, as Andy joins us with Liverpool Warriors / Legends boys